type of bullshit, though.
It's going to be great.
Because I don't want to get you in trouble or anything.
No, you won't get me in trouble.
Nah?
No, you won't get me in trouble.
But I've heard people say that before, and then it kind of ends up like with me just destroying everything.
Hey.
And then you look at me like, why did you ask me that?
Why did you say these things to me?
I try to deflect it and be like, okay, never mind. I was totally joking. Let's talk about this. But yeah, it doesn't work out sometimes.
I feel you.
It really doesn't, dude. What up, guys? It's T Talks and back at you. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, beautiful people.
What up?
I got this beautiful guy right here. If you guys don't know him, Kirk Webber is in the building. And on the flyer, I did mention organizer of Famous on the Weeknd.
I'm the goddamn CEO.
He is the god, okay? Which I'm actually very curious about because I only know a couple of details. But before we get into that, I want to know a little bit about you. Where are you from? How old are you? What are you doing in this desert?
So, yeah, I was born in Houston, Texas. And then we got our shit jacked one day. And my parents were like, yo, fuck this. And we bounced over, and my mom found a job over in Los Alamos. And it was good, but she found it and she's like, yo, this is a good spot to raise kids and stuff as it is. But so we moved over there. I grew up basically in Los Alamos, then went down to go to Las Cruces. And then basically from there, I was going for electrical engineering or engineering and all that bullshit to get some money, right? But I wanted to go for film. But
how old were you when you decided that you wanted to go into film?
Well, I wanted to go into film, but my parents were like, yo, you ain't going to make shit, bitch. So I was like, all right. So
how old were you when they told you that you can't?
I was so in high school, like my senior year, I was doing a bunch of stuff, and I was like waiting to basically maybe go out, but then I started figuring out that the film industry, well, at that time was fucked. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I'll go get some money. They're like, yo, if you want to go get some money, you can go do whatever the fuck you want. But you need to go do some fucking shit because we ain't supporting you. So I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
So went down there, and then, I was in a rap group and an R&B group in Los Alamos.
Sick.
We had a couple bangers. Okay. Yeah, it was good though. We had a good time. It was called BR&B. And one of my boys that lives here, Roger That Music, he's a great producer, man. And he was kind of teaching me all about like FL Studio and all that stuff. So we were doing it like in his like basement or whatever. And we just make bangers. And then I would film music videos for my film class. So I would be putting up that stuff. So I kind of learned it that way.
So you're like learning and just automatically already doing.
Yeah. So it was awesome. So we were doing great. And then once I, left high school, I was like, well, I want to keep on making music, but Roger's up in Los Alamos, I think he went down to Santa Fe at that time. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to fucking learn how to do this. So I grabbed FL Studio and I started making some music, and it was god awful. And it was really funny. I had a song called Sexication.
Sexication. I like this.
Yes.
Okay.
It was god awful, but it was funny as shit.
Can we find it?
I don't know.
Fuck.
It's in the deep cuts. Deep cuts. But it's bad. But it was fun because I made it when I was in college, and I was like, playing with shitty instruments and just trying to learn how to do everything. And then, and then I started, learning a little bit more about electronic music, and, I started hearing some more stuff coming out, and I'm not really happy that he brought me into it, but he did bring me into it. Was Bass Nectar actually brought me in. So Bass Nectar, he was like the god, right? But then he started making a little cult or some shit and touching little girls and shit.
Yeah. So, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's fucked. But the good news is, when I got into it, he was dope. And he had people had fucking tattoos of it and everything, right? So I feel bad for the people that have tattoos for sure, because they're like,
well, their explanation would be this tattoo represents the music, not the person.
Hey,
what is it? Who was it? The singer for As I Lay Dying.
Yes.
He had a hit out for his wife.
Yep.
We still listen to him.
Yep.
Don't lie. You do.
Yeah. We all do. Like I said, people still listen to Michael Jackson after all the bullshit that came out from that. And they're just like, whatever.
I still am a firm believer that he didn't touch little boys.
Dude, with the jingle bells and the fucking, I don't know, man.
As unfortunate as dude, I grew up with Michael Jackson. When I found out about him, I put on skinny jeans with chains.
You were wearing skinny jeans.
Yes, I was, and I was
Very
pretending
nice.
to be like him. I had the glove. In the cul-de-sac, we had little competitions. Oh, fucking good shit. Anyways, back to you really quick.
Nice.
When you were making this music in high school, you told me that you were in a pop group, R&B group.
Yep.
The music that you were making by yourself, though, what genre was that?
It was like hip hop.
Hip
So
hop.
it was
Okay.
hip hop. Yeah, I was trying to do hip hop and like singing over it, and trying to do this and that. But when I was in the R&B group, I rapped a little bit, and then I sang a little bit too, and because I was in choir for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love singing and stuff. It's great, and so I did that, and then I was trying to sing, but I wasn't good at like getting the vocals right. So I was like, fuck, and then. I started learning about bass nectar, so I started learning about electronic music and all this other shit. So I started kind of just practicing and doing more and more and trying to study as much as I could.
Right.
And I'd just be watching YouTubes and blah, 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 and just trying to learn as much as I could, right? So then, I was doing that for a while. And then I really wanted to, because I was like, okay, I'm producing all this music now, right? And I was getting pretty good. At that point, I was like putting out a track, and I was, getting pretty good. And I was under Captain Lid at that time.
Captain Lid.
Yeah, Captain Lid, because I always wear a hat. And I was
Hey.
like, all right. But I was like, but everybody's like, yo, Lid, like, you mean like fucking, some drug shit?
Shark
Yeah,
lid?
yeah, yeah. No, it was more like
Oh,
a like
okay.
a lid of like, like a dime bag or whatever.
Okay,
right?
okay,
So they're
makes
like, oh,
sense.
lid. And I was like, no, it literally is just my hat, bro. And I was like, I just wear my shit. And then, I did that for a while, and I was like, Captain Lid, whatever. And then everybody always called me Captain Kirk. So I was like, when
Captain
I was
Kirk.
going up, yeah,
Okay.
because Star Trek shit. So I was like,
Oh wow! See, I'm a non-fan, so
non-fan. It's okay.
Never got into it, but I
Are
get
you
it.
a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're a Star Wars fan, so that makes sense.
I mean, it's like the cousin of Star Trek, but I don't know. Some people would really fight me on
no,
that.
you're you're about to get fucking rolled up on. I don't feel safe.
I'm sorry. I come in peace, right?
Well, how do they do it? Do they scissor? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
this is it. The Yoda. God damn it.
It's the Yoda.
So the music that you got into when you were really young, what were your inspirations? Who was it that really sparked it in you? That was like, oh, I want to do that. You know what I mean?
So it was hard because I didn't know too much. I was just getting into it, right? But I was hearing fucking Cascade and Tiesto and all these big names, and I was like, oh, ooh, ooh. And then like I said, Bass Nectar was like one of the biggest ones that got me into it, and I was like, damn, this guy was making. Because the cool thing was back in the day, he was making music out of sounds that would never be made before. So like he made a song that was just someone like laughing or someone coughing or whatever, right? And it'd be just like a banger. And I was just like, that is amazing. Like someone that could just put that together and just make something just crazy.
Original.
Yeah. And I mean, cause
Blow your mind.
I grew up with like, classic rock. My dad was a big classic rock guy.
Gnarly.
Yeah. And I loved it. And I still love it to this day. It's one of my favorite genres. And, I did hip hop for a little bit. Like my first CD I got from Walmart, and it was Nappy Roots, and then it was Little John and Yin Yang Twins.
Oh my God.
Like when Yin Yang Twins came out, I had the not the explicit version because I wasn't old enough, so I had to get the when you actually got CDs, So we went to Walmart, got some CDs, and then, I loved it, dude. And then I loved the hip hop, the whole genre, the whole everything about it. And then, Roger and all them got me into that, and I started, working with them and kind of got me deeper and deeper. And then,
and now you're just rooted in it. You can't get the fuck out.
I've been doing music for so long now. It's great. I love it. So I've gone through the ringer with, big artists, with small artists, with whatever labels and all types of shit.
Gnarly.
And it's great. I mean, it's fun because you get to tell people, that you did something like that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
it's also getting taken advantage of like all the time. That's how music industry is. You're gonna get fucked no matter what.
What's the benefit that I can get from you?
Well, that's what it is, right? It's about what can you give me that you're giving out, and then from there, what can I get from you? So why am I doing this for you, and why are you doing this for me? So, so from these last few years, like I've gotten really good. I mean, I have so many fucking aliases now because I learned, when I switched over to Captain Kirk, I made like, house music and dubstep, but I was making also
Gnarly.
hip hop tracks and blah, blah, blahs. Right. And like, I just didn't, I would put out all this stuff. And then people, when I would pitch it to clubs and stuff, when I was down in college, a lot of the clubs were like, well, like I'd give them a demo CD or whatever, but it wasn't back then. People didn't know about, like, that was the biggest thing that I think I harp on. And I'm glad that everybody's starting to learn about this shit. But there's a difference between a producer and a DJ, right? And back then, people didn't know what the difference was. They thought, and when I did the same thing, when I went to my first rave, I thought the DJ was fucking, he's mixing these sounds and doing all this crazy. You don't know. You're like, what the fuck? This is like a bunch of crazy alien equipment you're going on, or like vinyl and all this other shit. And, I went to some of these raves, like these underground raves, and people just worship these DJs like gods. And I was like, and I started figuring out what they did. And I was like, these motherfuckers are just putting shit together, right? It's just a song to a song to a song. I was like, they ain't doing shit, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, all right, well, for me to actually play my music, right, I have to start DJing.
Yes.
Right. So in college, I got my shitty little turntables. They're little Genesis CD players, and they had the little USBs and stuff. It was, I don't even think they make those things anymore, but.
I got one similar to. I'll show you in a second.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was an old school. It's like, it was like a little fat boy,
and
it had like USB sticks, and you had like an LCD screen. You didn't see shit. You just saw this like the song that you'd go to, and I started doing parties like because down in college, especially where I was in Las Cruces, and there was no clubs. There was nothing like that, and the problem was. Everybody just wanted to do house parties, right? So, I mean, it was a good thing because I was underage and shit, right? So I was like, fuck, well, we're all down here. Everybody wants to party. And
might as well take advantage
so
of it.
I was like, well, I need to start DJing and all this stuff. So I started trying it. And I was okay, but it was god-awful. And,
Start
it was,
somewhere.
Yeah, right? And then, and it was hard, man. The equipment was rough. But nowadays, you got like LCD screens or computers and all this shit, and you're just matching shit up, whatever. But I was learning it back in the day. And then we started... basically going from there, I started doing more parties, and they'd be like, yo, bring your speakers out and bring your turntables and just play at my party.
You were the guy.
I was the guy.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay, because there was a few DJs in Las Cruces that were killing at the clubs and stuff. And,
sick.
And they were great. And but they were, part of frat parties, so they DJ their frat parties, and they had money, right? And so I was like, well, I'm going to try to do my best. And so I did it. We were throwing these big parties. They started getting bigger and bigger, but the cops started coming. Fuck. And so
I kind of was waiting for that. I was like, well, it's a college environment.
200 to 300 people plus, dude. I mean, we're packing these houses. Like, this doesn't happen anymore. Like, think about opening your house to 300 randos that are really willing to fuck your shit up, like your whole house,
leave holes.
Oh, dude,
break the windows.
It was so funny. One of the parties I did, one of my buddies, Leo, shout out to Leo, him and Jay had this house, and God, dude, it was so funny. We did 2 parties, and like one after the other. The first night he got his like speaker stolen, or like his stereo speaker stolen, and he's like, fuck it, man, whatever, we're gonna go again. And then the next night he gets his whole TV jacked during the party.
What the fuck?
I don't know how someone just walks out of the fucking party with a big ass TV, but
I mean, where was he though? Shouldn't he be protecting
he's
his
a party
gear?
man. He's a party man. He was doing his rounds, right? And so I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. But he's like, fuck it, bro. I don't care. It was a great party. But,
that's the best kind of attitude.
Yeah, he was, dude, he's one of my boys. But it was crazy down there. And the thing is that we would go from like, so we'd have like everybody sending text messages and all this stuff. Like, where's the party at? Where's the party at? Right. And then, so we would go from like one party and it would get busted. Like if it was close to wherever, cops would come like that. Right, so then we'd have another one ready to go. So everybody leaves that one to go to the next one. So we're like, all right, let's just fucking go down the street.
B, C, D, E.
Exactly.
Oh my God. What's the craziest shit that's happened at one of those? The craziest. Someone gets stabbed? Someone died?
Dude,
I mean...
someone might have died.
What is
I don't
it?
know.
No. Roger from American Dad. It's not a real spring break party unless someone dies.
So, there was one time. Okay,
someone did die. Oh, what?
One time. No, I have a lot of stories, man. We're going to go into it. But, so this is where it comes from. So, we'll get there. So, basically we're doing all these house parties, right? They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're having a few fights, but the big thing was it was whatever. So then the cops keep busting us, and they're like, yo, and then the cops just like pull me aside. They're like, yo, why don't you just go to the fucking desert? Like, we won't fuck with you out in the desert. Just go out to the desert. So I was like,
So wait, did they know you well enough to be like, yo,
oh yeah, dude, they knew me at every party. They're like, this motherfucker.
This fucking guy again. Why when I was
like,
surprised?
hey. And the cops down there are really cool, man, because they also have like what was that, like cop training school that's at the state. So like all the cops are going to school too. So they're like, bro, I don't want to bust you, but like I'm on duty right now and I got to do this shit. Like next one, if I'm around, dude, like we'll party. So I was like, all right, they all want to party with us. So I was like, all right, and then so I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, let's figure out how to do the desert. So I drove around with my buddy Crank. Shout out to Zach Crank, my boy Blue. He started Famous on the Weekend with me. We kind of started doing all this stuff. But what ended up happening is where Famous on the Weekend came from was basically I made a Facebook group on Facebook, but I made a Facebook group and I wanted to make it to all the homies that were a part of it. So instead of sending a fucking huge text message every time, and I was only, back then you could only do 20 at a time or whatever, right? So I'd have to like go back and start sending. I was like, I'm going to make a big private Facebook group and I'm going to post the address on the private Facebook group. Nice. So people knew, they just checked their phone. Oh shit, that's the party.
Boom.
And I called it Famous on the Weekend because I was like, okay, during the week, so this is where it comes from.
Yes.
During the week, I don't get shit. Nobody's fucking texting my ass. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But Friday and Saturday comes around, guess whose phone's blowing up?
Yes.
So I was like, oh, these motherfuckers are like, yo, where's the party at, bro? Blah, blah, blah. Let me get it, bro. What's up? What's up? Like, I'm talking like hundreds of texts.
I bet.
And I'm like,
I'm imagining it.
And I'm like, dude, I'm only fucking famous on the weekend. And I was like, these bitches.
I love that.
So I was like, I'm only famous on the weekends. They're only hit me up during the weekend. So I was like, because I was going to school during the week. So I was like, I get it, But I was like, all right, during the weekends, I'm famous. So I was like, all right. So I made the Facebook group Famous on the Weekend. And I was like, and everybody was like, oh, I love that, blah, blah, blah. So we started getting bigger and bigger. And then the Facebook group kept on getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, fuck. And then we were like, okay, I think we have enough following that I could like rent some shit, like some equipment. So some like, I had my DJ gear because I upgraded finally. I put down some money. I worked during the winters.
Hell yeah.
I got some, NS7s, some Newmark NS7s, loved them. And I got them during the winter. So when I came back during the like fall and spring and all that stuff, I was ready to go. So I was like, all right, we're really ripping it now. So then I was like, okay, I need to rent a generator. I need to rent some speakers, maybe some lights if we can get it. So one of my boys, Josh Zeal, which does Owl Cartel, lighting and sound. He's one of the biggest dudes in Las Cruces now doing sound and shit.
Sick.
Shout out Josh Zeal. But yeah, he fucking hooked me up with some bomb ass JBL speakers. I mean, thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And he's like, for like a couple $100. And I was like, and he knew where I was taking him too. He was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to the desert. And he's like, bro, are you sure? He's like, okay, well, just, if you break this shit, you're buying it. I was like, okay,
Fair
I
enough.
won't break it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but they're going to get dusty. So,
oh, no, inevitably.
And so he's like, all right, whatever. So I was like, cool. So I grabbed the speakers, so I'd grab them from him. And then I would go to it was like a little generator equipment shop. I was on Main. And I'd rent a generator for like $100 the night. So it was like $200 in the pocket for doing like a show. And then I'd send out a message like, yo, we're going to this desert, go up this. Like we had like, back in the day, we'd like, all right, go up, change your mileage to blah, blah, blah. And then go up this way. And if you see this cone, go right, blah, blah, blah. So
wow, intricate.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this.
Well, that's what it was back in the day. And so we did that. We started, we called it Fort Rageous.
I like that.
It was
Fort
sick.
Rageous.
It started going hard there.
Damn.
We blew that place up, and then it got too big so that people were parking all the way into the streets in the neighborhoods and being loud as fuck, coming up. So the cops actually ended up coming out. So I had to find a new spot. So the cops came out the one night, and they're like, yo, what's up? And I was like, yo, what are you guys doing out here? They're like, well, we got a call from a fucking house down the street. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to find a new spot, man. I was like, I'm trying my best, bro.
You really are. And I know that feeling. Every spot you find is like, nope.
Well, dude,
Nope.
so I went through a few of them down there. So I finally found the sandbox, and I was there for a while. I called it the Captain's Sandbox, and it was right down the street. And I was like a little further away from like the main spot, but it was like one way in, one way out, right? And it was a dope spot, but it was like, I mean, if you didn't have really 4-wheel drive, like it was deep sand. So if you stop,
you were fucked.
So dudes would make fucking money pulling people out. All these hicks would just come over to my parties and they'd be like, yo, I'm going to be pulling people out for $20 a pop. Like, thanks, bro. I just made like $1,000 tonight. I was like, you bitch. I just made like maybe like $200, $300.
That's gangster. I love that
Dope.
so much.
So then we had all these, you know, I had my security squad and everybody, like we were out there in the shit, right? And, you know, at the sandbox, so the big thing is when you're throwing a party, if you don't have the girls that feel safe, then no one's coming because then you just got a sausage party.
It's gonna be pretty. Even I don't know. Even when it's a sausage party, what was I getting to? I was just having terrible flashbacks at my last.
No.
Yeah, no. But going back into the whole situation with the females feeling comfortable at the party, I mean that's critical. Every film. Why am I stuttering so much?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Get out of here.
The big thing is that like when the girls feel unsafe, the shitty part is that they won't come out, and then if no girls come out, no one comes out. So I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that the fucking girls feel safe. So one time, it was awful, dude. One time, there was like a big fight that happened in the desert, but there was over 150 people in a brawl. Like think about 150 people in the desert. No one's out. Dude, people are getting hit with bottles. I mean, it's crazy, pandemonium. And I'm trying to stop it. I'm like yelling on the mic. I'm playing Barbie Girl, trying to get people. Wow. People are getting smashed in the face by Barbie Girl. Yeah, God. Dude. I was trying to play the shittiest music just for them to be like, "Yo, fuck this!" Like, but it just made them angrier. So it was awful. So,
priceless.
Yeah, but it was cool. But I was just laughing, and then I was like, okay, I have to do something about this. So what I told my security guards, I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to put a post out and I'm going to tell everybody that there's one rule in the desert. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can do whatever shit you are going to do. But the one rule of the desert is you can't fight. And so I was like, all right. And if you get caught fighting, you're going to get hit with a taser and fucking pepper spray and they're going to drag you out. And you're in the middle of the desert.
Damn,
So you're
fucked.
So I was like, dude, and that's what I had to do. I had to scare the fuck out of these people. Just to be like, yo, and I told my security guards, I was like, yo, every car that comes in, because they gave us a little bit of cash, they're like, if you see somebody, like any car that comes up here, you talk to them, you tell them, hey, by doing this, you are accepting that you will be pepper sprayed or fucking tased if you start a fight tonight. And everybody's like, yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So I was like, all right. So they're all accepting to do this. This is our
verbally though, right?
Yeah, verbal.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of just to scare them, right? I mean, we had our shit, but
yeah.
It was just hopefully to scare them enough to be like, yo, we're not doing this shit. Like, they're going to fuck us up. So, and we didn't have a fight after that. We didn't have a fight for like another, I mean, and there were like small little ones that we could control, but like not a huge, like
150 person
war, dude. Yeah. Like it was like fucking, what was it? Like the Woodstock shit where they were burning shit and everybody was doing like, it was like pandemonium. And I was like, oh my God, we can't do this. Cause girls were like, yo, we're getting the fuck out of here. Like, this is crazy. So that happened, did all that. And then, you know, we got busted by cops a couple times out there, but most of them, it was, you know, they're super chill. But it was funny because every time the cops would come, I'd just play Bad Boys while they came up and talked to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, the piggies are here.
God damn.
It was fun though.
Best friends with the cops.
Dude, they knew me. They knew me. And then, but you know, so then we started trying to go different places because everybody's like, this place is cool, but there's only one way in, one way out. And the problem is people get stuck. And there was one night, it was like during my senior year when we were like really pushing hard because I really didn't care about money at that point. I was like, fuck it. Nice. This was how I made money during the weeks and like paying off my shit because I had to feed myself. I had to do all this stuff, right? So I had to fucking do all this to get money and I paid my security guards and stuff. So this was like, you know, our bread, right? And one night, man, it was so funny. Some little Civic got stuck in the middle of the road. And in the middle of the road coming in, and no one could get around this fucker without getting sunk. So everybody saw my security guards run up to me. They're like, yo, Kirk, someone is out there, and they're not gonna be. They're like they're gonna have to move their car. And I was like, okay. So I turned off the music. I was like, hey, everybody, if you park your car in the middle of the shit, go move it, or they will move it for you. And they're like,
Okay.
And we gave them about 20 minutes. I don't even know. They probably didn't even worry about it. They're like, probably let's just go do it. So they flipped the car.
Wow.
They flipped it. They flipped the car.
Hey, there was a shout out for it. The owner had time to react.
Dude, it was insane because when I was leaving at like 4:00 in the morning, right? I was just driving out because I'm always the last out, right? So we kick everybody out. I had to pack up all my shit, generators, speakers, blah blah blah. So I'm the last one out. So I'm driving by and I'm just seeing like all the pandemonium that happened, and I'm like, and I just look to the left and I just see this poor Honda Civic just flipped, and I was like,
rightfully so.
Oh my god! I was like, yeah. I mean, we told them. We fucking told them. I mean, we're out in the desert, baby. So
is that the craziest thing that you've seen, or the 150-person brawl?
The brawl was the worst because that was just like in your face. We couldn't stop it. The car thing was just funny because I was just like, that's pretty crazy as fuck.
At least it wasn't your car.
Yes.
God damn it.
No, dude, like I had a little Subaru out there. I had my mom's Outback, and I tore that thing up in the desert. But people would be fucking on it. There was like handprints all over my shit. Like it was people don't give a fuck in the desert.
No, they don't. And I'm thinking to myself, was it you that hosted that party that I went to a couple of years ago? But there's no way of knowing.
If it was a big desert party.
It was a big desert party in the cave.
When was it though? Oh, in the cave. No, so that might have been my boys out in Albuquerque. But yeah, no.
Insane. Absolutely great time.
But that's kind of like, I mean, that was southern. So southern New Mexico, Las Cruces and all them, they go hard. I mean, it's all a bunch of college kids. Up north, it's a little bit more vibey and, hey, bro. Like, so when I moved up here, I was going hard. We were doing crazy, shit. And then when I came up here, it was more of like, hey, man, it's a vibe. And what kind of shit you're trying to bring and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I'm here to fuck your shit up. And then
let's get swifty.
Yeah.
That's the attitude.
And people were okay with it. I mean, I had to do my own thing the whole time. Like, no one in New Mexico or northern New Mexico really helped out with getting shows or whatever. I always had to put on my own shows, right, to do my own shit, and then they would come in flocks. They'd be like, I'd
because
thing.
You're the guy. You're the one planning everything.
I'm the guy. So it was nice. It just gets really old when you sit there and you talk to people and you get them on. And you're like, yo, I'm down to support you, but can you support me? Can you help me out getting into your crowd?
Some donation,
Not even donation. It's more of just like, hey, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Of literally, I let you play with me, let me go play with you. But it's more.
I mean, are we like thinking about floggers and like nipple tassels?
Ooh.
Or like what kind of play here?
Play slap and tickle, bro.
Because that's
slap and tickle.
My brain goes immediately there, but I know what you mean. I think you should have stuck with the scratch my back part.
Bro, Taylor just wants to get his nipples clamped. Everybody out there, let's go.
If you guys do want to see that, you have to go to YouTube, Taylor Talks at my vlog channel.
We got some special stuff for you.
I'm surprised I don't do OnlyFans yet.
That's what I'm saying. You should get on that.
Why don't you do OnlyFans?
I've been thinking about it. I think my feet are pretty good that I can maybe make some money.
Okay, polish them up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll sell some socks, make some good money on the side.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? Some girls just grab fucking stinky ass shoes from like Savers or like Goodwill, and they just walk around them in a little bit and sell them for like hundreds of dollars. And it's ridiculous. I'm like, how are you? But at the same time, if you can't make money in this climate right now, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, right?
You can literally make money doing almost anything about these.
You just have to figure out what your morals are.
Does humanity have many of them?
I don't know.
That's the question.
I don't know, man.
Going back to the Famous on the Weekend thing, for right now, so that everybody is caught up and I'm caught up, you are an event coordinator.
Yes. So so Famous on the Weekend it's events and stuff, but it's mostly it's turning into what I really want it to turn into is an entertainment company.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, if I was a wedding planner, I could call you and say, hey, I need strobes, lights, dancers. I need the security. I need pretty much everything. You're the party guy.
Yes. So we can bring whatever they want. I actually I've done a lot of weddings for a lot of friends and stuff. I don't really promote doing those type of things. I do them for my friends and stuff, but I think I've done over probably like 30 or 40 weddings, but and it's fun. Like I said, they're fun. It's easy stuff, but for me, it's more like the down and dirty. I want to hear people that are really working on their shit, like producers and all this shit. So, when COVID hit, so I was up in Los Alamos. I was doing shit in like the Posse Shack. And the cool thing about Los Alamos is it's an open container town. So it's like Vegas, but without the titties. But without the titties.
Boo.
I know. So you can drink wherever you want. So it's open container. So we used to do BYOB over at one of these spots. And it was awesome. I even went up to like the mountains. And we did a big fucking party for the birthdays. And amazing. I had a great time, but it was hard getting people up from like Albuquerque and Santa Fe and all this stuff because they're just like, well, where am I going to go? Like, there's no hotels, there's no nothing. Like, and I don't want to be driving drunk or whatever back to their spots. So they're like, so that's why the camping events were big, but it was always tough. But then I ended up going to Santa Fe. So I moved to Santa Fe about 3 years ago, and I was like, you know what? I've kind of tapped out of Los Alamos, and people were starting to look at me, and I need to keep my job up at my job, and I keep my social life down here, right?
Got it.
Instead of going to the to the only grocery store up there and seeing everybody and their mom
and neighbor and dog,
and it's like, hey, what's going on? And this, and it's like, if you get a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, you're on their fucking bulletin board, and it's like, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody
so
knows.
so out of curiosity, since you are the man,
Yes,
as I will continue to say,
you're the man.
on the weekend, during the weekdays, what are you doing to pay the bills to make sure that you can get away with what you're doing on the weekends?
So I'm an electrical engineer, and it sucked.
Oh
dick.
shit! Okay.
Yeah, it sucked dick.
But it pays pretty
the
well,
bills.
right?
So I work over at Los Alamos, I blow shit up for a living. It's fantastic.
Literally.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
they blow it up. I test it out. I say, yo, we got some cool shit, and they're like, dope. And then that's basically my life, where it's like, all right, we're putting in like sensors and all types of cool little things all over these things, and then they blow it up, and we say, wow, like that was really cool. What happened? And they look at me, and I'm like, I think it happened. Like, it was cool. So that's where I get my money from, and then I feed it into Famous on the Weekend just to promote and like get speakers and this.
Oh, of course.
But usually when COVID hit, it really sucked because all the events. When I moved into Santa Fe, I started like working on little this and that, but it was harder to get in because COVID hit. Everything closed down. There was no events. There was no nothing. So I ended up switching my view from events because, dude, I was doing shit down in like Espanola. Shout out to Porky's, Ivan.
Nice.
That shit was rowdy at Porky's. But yeah, we did stuff in Espanola and stuff for a little bit. But I was like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here because shit was getting too crazy down there.
Too rowdy.
Yeah. So then I went back up to Los Alamos, did more stuff there, and then when I moved down to Santa Fe, tried doing stuff, but everybody was up their ass, man. Like, Santa Fe is definitely a hard city to become, like, be an EDM DJ or, doing hip hop and EDM and whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's very tight niched, and also all the clubs already have their people, or they just have like live bands and all that stuff. They're like, no, we don't need that stuff. Because it was, they don't need us to come in and help them out or bring in a different crowd. They like the old crowd that they have.
Yeah.
So Santa Fe is super old. We're starting to get some good followings now and stuff, but yeah, it's been pulling teeth trying to get a venue or trying to get something out there that we can have something steady and be like, okay, let's start building, because I'm starting fresh in Santa Fe, right? Because I had Las Cruces, I had a little bit of Albuquerque. I was doing stuff in Albuquerque, and then I had Los Alamos, and I knew everybody from Los Alamos from my hometown, so it was easy to get people, but easy to burn people out. And that's the biggest thing that, that they're like, oh, well, we'll just go to the next one, bro. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's easy for you to say when you're not the one looking for it.
Exactly. Well, if I'm providing it, and then, if I'm doing it, whatever, they'll be like, oh, go to the next one. So that's why, my goal is, I was going to try to bring a club to Santa Fe, but the problem is it'd be dope, but people will get burnt out on a club. Like, that's why when we do our events, it's, I think the max we could do with the population of Santa Fe is 2 times a month, because you give them a week between to give them a breather and all that stuff, and then they come out. Because if you do it every week, then people get the burnouts and like, we'll do it later, or we'll go whatever. And you know, and people do want to go out and dance and stuff, but you know, I feel like it's just not the population or the following we have yet to actually be hitting it every weekend because, you know, there's like what 80 to 100,000 people in Santa Fe. And that's like 85% is like 40. Like 85% is like 40 and up or like 50 and up, all retirees and stuff. And like all the younger kids and college kids are down in Albuquerque. So it's a lot easier for them to promote and do all this other shit. But it's cool though. Like I said, we're moving. We're doing some cool shit.
Thankfully.
Thankfully.
As of 2022, April. Crap, no, that's not the right thing.
There it goes.
I'm reading the wrong thing. 87,497.
Boom, I was in the 80s, baby.
There you go.
But but that's what I'm saying, man. We have under 100,000 people, right?
And a lot of them need like some encouragement. It's like, hey, it's okay to dance. It's okay to look a little weird.
That's very true.
Because when I always did parties, the hardest thing was always making sure that it was dark enough. To make sure that whoever went in there can feel like they're being hidden without actually trying to be hidden.
Exactly. Or it could be a little weird or get a little loose. And, you know, that's the big thing that we pride ourselves on is like, yo, get fucking weird, get crazy, go have fun, dance around, be comfortable. And if anybody's just not feeling comfortable or you're making someone uncomfortable, get the fuck out. Because that's the thing, man, is that people want to just go, you know, go out and let loose and have fun and not be judged and all this other stuff. And I mean, Santa Fe is perfect for that because it's weird. Santa Fe is all weirdos, right? We're all these weirdos.
Just unfortunately, they're all dispersed. You know, they don't really come. They don't conjugate at the same time.
Very true. So that's what I'm saying. We got to corral them. So that's why I ended up putting together Santa Fe events, New Mexico events, because I put Santa Fe events, and then everybody in California kept on fucking adding and putting shit up there. So I had to put New Mexico events, even though I had it in the fucking rules. But so I made that because I was like, there's no fucking event. They had like Santa Fe music, which was cool, but there was no like actual events place so that you could post stuff. And I feel like we still need to make like a website or something that we can actually have like a bulletin board for everyone to know what's going on. Because people come into Santa Fe and they're like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the number one tourist places in the U.S.
I mean, Meow Wolf is the biggest, well, not the, but it does bring in quite a large revenue.
Time. Well, I went to Vegas. I was out in Vegas the last 2 months, and I went to the area 15 and stuff, and it was cool. It was a really cool spot, but you know, it wasn't like the Meow Wolf in Santa Fe where you know you go in there, it's really immersive. It's immersive, but it's more tended to like the bigger crowds. It's not like you come in and it's like a house and you're reading books and all this stuff.
More visual, like at a distance type of thing.
And you could tell that they did it to the masses, but I haven't done to the Denver one. I've heard good things, but you know, Meow Wolf in general has been really cool for Santa Fe to at least bring a little bit more weird and like music. Like the music they've brought in, it's unheard of. Like they've brought in artists that I would never think they would ever come to Santa Fe, and like especially for that big of a crowd.
Good point.
For 400 people, like we got to see Buckethead. Like where the fuck is that dude coming in?
I wish I knew.
Infected Mushroom just came. Like when did they were doing
Mushroom?
Yeah, dude, and they're one of the biggest fucking groups in the UK and everything. Like they don't do this. And
LP came to Meow Wolf, unfortunately, and it was right before COVID. I was like, I'll see you next time.
Yep.
I'll see you next time. It's fine. No, COVID came, fucked everything. If there's a show that you guys want to go to, do not make excuses. Fucking go to it. Because you don't know when you're going to be able to have the next opportunity to.
Especially in that small of a venue, like intimate. That's the cool thing about that venue. It's intimate. You're right there with the person. It's a cool venue. Everybody in there is ready to get down. They've really brought something really special to Santa Fe. It's just now what I feel like is they've really, they've been doing this for a while, but they've gatekeeped a lot for locals. So they bring a lot of Albuquerque DJs. They bring a lot of other people. And they bring some great acts, but they gatekeep like a motherfucker. Where you can't get in. They're not bringing any Santa Fe DJs through. Like maybe 1 or 2 times.
Really?
Oh, yeah, nowhere. And I mean, now they're starting to open up a little bit, but they keep changing hands for entertainment and event coordination that it's hard. So like when you get someone and you start working with them, then someone hands it off and then you're having to work brand new with this person to try to get in there. And it's cool and all, like I said, but like you know, it's a little Santa Fe's very hard to get into for venues because it's very niche, or they want a specific type of music, or they have a specific type of crowd. And we're trying to bring our own shit. Like whoever comes up and you like what you like, come on. You know what we're doing. We're doing some fun shit. We're bringing hip hop acts. We're bringing fucking EDM DJs. We're bringing hip hop DJs. We're bringing whatever. Weird shit, right? We brought our first show at Leaf and Hive. We had a fucking beatboxer that did it for 30 minutes. Killer.
God damn.
And like that's what I'm saying. Like weird shit. But we want to start bringing, the goal is to start bringing, start curating more shows in Santa Fe. And I'm trying to work with Santa Fe Brewery and all them and stuff. They're
Shout out Santa Fe Brewery.
Yeah.
By the way.
Hey.
We got you right here.
Because they have an amazing space and stuff. But, we want to start working with them. We start working with, bigger venues just so we can start bringing these bigger people and, start curating the come up, right? Because that's what I've kind of wanted to turn Famous on the Weekend into is we want to grab the small guy. Not small, but like they're coming up. But we know they're coming up, but no one else knows they're coming up.
Okay.
And then we blow them up. And once they fucking go, we grab the next one. Like we're kind of the jump off point. We want want to grab the people that's what this whole company's for is people that work their ass off during the weeks to do what they love on the weekends.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, I got to work this shitty ass dishwashing job or this shitty ass fucking whatever, right?
But it's okay because it's Friday.
Because Friday comes and I'm fucking getting lit or I'm going to go DJ or I'm going to go fucking spin fire or fucking do whatever. Go do your art, do whatever. Like I get to just decompress or even have just some time during the week where you were like, the weekend warriors where they're just, you spend those 2 hours you only get a day just to work on your shit so that you could be better at it later on, that you could maybe have this to rely on later. And we want to help those people get there on any way possible. Like we want to do art pop-ups and whatever, right?
So I know there's a lot of those people out in Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times the biggest excuse is that they don't know where to go. Mm-hmm. I know you have a Facebook. I know you have an Instagram. Yeah.
We have it all. We have TikToks. We have blah, blah, blahs. We have a website where we're starting to build up again. And now that we're doing events and stuff, it's a little easier. But and then we're getting our clothing line back up and running and stuff.
I was going to ask,
because, got the swaggage. Got to get you something.
Dude, before I leave, I will get something.
Yes.
I'm taking a piece with me.
Yeah, you're taking
and the hat, actually, if you guys didn't notice, it says Famous on the Weekend.
Boom, baby.
Same font, same style,
boom,
sexy
boom.
as hell. If we did want to get one, like for example, that pink. I'm not big on pink, but I like that pink. Where do I go?
We got to get our printing up again. We kind of went down for a little bit.
Okay.
But we're gonna get all of our printing up, and we're gonna get our website up for the store and stuff. Right now, what I really like to do is sell our merch at our shows, so that I know that
Smart.
you came to a show and you're like,
and you got it from there.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh shit, you went to. It's kind of like a band T-shirt where you're like, oh, I went to that tour, right?
It has a core memory to it. I totally get it.
And the next thing I want to do with the apparel is have, I've had this logo for a little bit, but what I really want to do is when we start getting into it is. This will be the logo will change every year. And each piece of clothing that gets printed with that is like circa 2023 or 2022. So you know how long someone's been in it.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, it's like the Jordans where you're like, yo, you got the fucking 1999, bro?
Exactly.
Like, how the fuck did you get that?
It's funny. I saw a Will Smith video where he would change it every year or every decade.
Yep.
And when he would see his signature on something else, he knew exactly as to when it was.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of like it just shows other people. It's like the Deadheads and all that shit where it's like, yo, like the tour, 1999 tour or whatever, right? It's that piece of, it's kind of turns into like a piece of artwork or a piece of just like memory that goes around. And, you're like, yo, how do you know this? Where did you go see them? And, as we grow, I want to make sure that we keep it also inclusive to the people that really want to support that. When they come out and they do support us and they do, diehards,
right.
They are a part of it forever, where it's like, yo, you were out there doing it,
enjoying it with us, being a part of the history.
Yeah. Because, like I said, you never know when shit can go wrong or
go absolutely right. Who knows? In 2 years, you might be like a huge famous guy.
Hey.
And I could be a total dick too from here until then. And then I would be like, maybe I shouldn't have been an asshole to you.
Just gotta be nice to everybody man. It's because you never know.
You never know who's gonna be a rich, handsome person.
Hey.
So don't be a dick.
Don't be a
don't be a
dick.
bitch.
Don't be a
Honestly,
bitch or a dick.
God.
Don't be a dick or a bitch. But at the same time, I'm really happy where we're at right now. You know, shout out to Rain. He's one of the guys I've been working with me. So I met him up, and
he's the gentleman
close.
that I met you with the first time we met. Yeah.
So he's deep in the game. He's been deep in the game with events. He was kind of, when I met him, he was telling me all about his craziness on throwing events because he was kind of like me.
Nice.
And he's like, bro, I used to do shit for this, and that. And then, you know, he worked for Santa Fe Brewing Company's events. He did Meow Wolf before Meow Wolf was Meow Wolf. He did.
Seriously?
He brought, Passion Pit and all this shit. And he was doing all the event coordination. I was like, dude, I need someone like this with you. Because I was like, I work all day. It's hard to do like these meetings with these venues or meetings with DJs or whatever, artists. I was
organize.
like, if you can go down there and help me out, go talk to them, see what you're doing. You know, be the face for us right now. Go do that. While I'm doing this, I'll come down. And if they're legit, do it.
Yeah.
So I kind of use him as a filter point where it's like, yo, if they're legit, cool. Let's talk to them. Let's see what's up. But
business partner.
I let him, I let him do the kind of face to faces now where, you know, it's nice that I don't have to worry about everything. And that's what it's about. You know, when you're doing anything you're doing is to get a team. Your team is the most important thing. Right. And
I'm trying to build my own, man.
You're doing it, man. You're doing it. I know you've been through some shit, bro.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, they come and go. It's fine, whatever.
It's okay.
Really quick, I do want to get into it. I wanted to say, first time meeting you and Rain, it was like, you were the bad cop and he was the good cop.
Yeah.
But then I was like, he's so nice, though. But it's like, it's just a mirage, I bet.
It's a mirage.
He's so big. He's got to be angry. No, but you guys' dynamic just works so well. You know, you guys are straight to the point. When we had that business meeting about the venue,
yeah,
which hopefully will, you know, something will still happen.
It's gonna happen, but it's gonna be secret. So you gotta stay tuned.
So if you want to stay tuned, definitely check him out on Instagram, Facebook,
Always.
TikTok,
all the shit,
and it's all under Famous on the Weekend.
Yeah. So I've been so the company Famous on the Weekend, we do a bunch of events and stuff, but you know, I also have a bunch of different aliases for all my music and stuff that I've been doing.
I was gonna get into that because I did put DJ and musician, producer. There you go. And so those are two different things. When I think of a producer, I'm thinking of someone who's mixing the sound and warping it to sound a little bit better with the next whatever is going to happen.
So it's kind of like the director, and I mean, so think about it. So nowadays, you have to think about it as like basically you're starting from scratch. You're building the drums. You're building the you're the band.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I got it.
So it's a musician, right? It's a musician, producer, whatever. So you're mixing, mastering. So like Captain Kirk, I learned, you know, going back to where I went way off, going back to it, like when I started Captain Kirk, I started making all this different music, right? So I was like, well, all these venues were like, hey, we want to know what you're going to play. Like you're playing dubstep and you're playing house and then you're playing this and you're playing this. Like, what are you going to play though?
It's
like,
all original shit though.
Yeah, but it's all original. But they're like, what are you, like, if we bring in a house DJ, are you going to be playing some crazy shit or like what? So
yeah, I like that question.
And I've also like learned, you know, that if you go out and like, okay, so if you think about it like on Pandora, back in when people Pandora, but like Spotify, right?
Okay.
Like you have your artist, you'd be like listening to Cascade and stuff, and then think about like if you're listening to like something light or whatever, and like a house DJ or whatever, and like Tiesto and all that stuff, and then Zed's Dead or Excision comes on, and you're like, whoa,
Liquid Death.
Hey, Liquid Death, let's go, sponsorship, bitch, let's go.
I have to do that every time I open it.
That's fucking dope. But yeah, so like, you know, you wouldn't, you know, people that were listening to it nowadays, though, people are starting to learn that whatever, they don't give a fuck, they just love it all, whatever. But back in the day, like Pandora and iHeartRadio and stuff, you were on stations, so you had to curate to those stations. So if you wanted to get on the bigger spots, you had to be like one alias. Like you didn't have people doing multi-genre stuff.
Yeah.
It was
makes
like,
sense.
you were a house DJ, you were a band, you were an alternative, you're a heavy metal band. You're not going to go out and fucking play fucking the Bee Gees or some shit, right? So they're like, wait, what?
You have to be in a box.
Yes, you are in a box. Nowadays, it's gotten a little better, but so that's why I have like so many fucking aliases. I have like Captain Kirk for my house music and like more of like, you know, future stuff. And then
what's the lid one?
So Captain Lid was like where I put everything, but then that was when I was like building. Then
nice.
I went to Captain Kirk, and then I was doing everything under that, and I was like, yo, and I started learning about this shit, and I was like, okay, Captain Kirk's gonna be house because I got signed with a label and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, with this label they want me to do this. So I was like,
gnarly.
okay, cool. We'll do that. And then I was like, but I really love making bass music and heavy shit and just love it. So I was like, okay, so I need to make a whole nother persona for that. I don't know, alias. So I made Jelly Giant. So I was like, all right, Jelly Giant's my hardcore.
Jelly Giant.
Yeah.
I like this.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to make this shit. So then those are like my two main aliases that I really bounce back and forth with, where I've like, I want to do some really crazy shit and like super cool sound design, because I love sound design, where you're making a sound and you're manipulating it into like a bass. So you're messing with frequencies, right? Different filters and different combs and all types of, wave tables and all this stuff, gains and distortions. And you're literally making sound from scratch, right? And it's really cool because you're making the sound from scratch, and then when you give it to someone, they're never going to hear that sound again. So it's your sound now, and it's really cool.
True, yeah.
So it's kind of like having basically building your own guitar every time that only sounds the way you wanted it to sound, and no one can replicate it.
No, and yeah, I like that, the originality of it.
Yeah, so like that's what I loved about it, because I was like, once you get it, like once you make that sound and you make these things. Nowadays, everybody fucking downloads Splice and like all these packs and whatever, and they just fit it all together and put samples together, and it's cool. I don't mind it, but at the same time, like real motherfuckers like make that shit. They sit there for hours going crazy, tweaking one knob, just making it to sound whatever, and it's crazy. But that's why like I never really stream making music. Well, I mean, like making music, I don't even think I will, because the thing is that you're sitting there and you're just listening to a 4-bar loop or whatever, or sound for hours. It would make people go nuts. Like, it's the most insane thing. But, and that's why like everybody wants to go into the studio. Like when I was in Vegas, I work with a bunch of hip hop artists and stuff. And when we go into the studio, they want tracks that are done so they can just party to it and they can rap to it a little bit. But like when you're making the shit, I want nobody, I mean, unless they're collabing with me, but I want nobody in the studio. I want just my attention on this so I can get it the way I want it. Because if people are in there, they're partying or they're just not doing whatever, why are you fucking
There's no benefit.
Yeah, why are you fucking here? Or they're just going to sit there and they're going to go crazy. They're going to be like, yo, can you like do something else? And it's like, no, I'm making a fucking sound. And so, I did Captain Kirk. So I still do my Captain Kirk, my Jolly Giant. And then I also do Chasing Happiness is a new one that I'm working on.
I like that one.
Chasing Happiness is like an alternative, kind of more me singing and kind of more emotions that I'm pushing into it. Like I'm really experimental with that one. It's not like EDM. I want to mix EDM and alternative and like whatever I want. It's chasing my happiness.
I like that.
And then I have Persona Beats, which is just for all the rappers, and I can send out tracks to all these people. And I did Persona Beats because it's basically beats for every persona. Right. So, cause I make so much different music that I'm like, all right, I can make any type of hip hop or whatever track, put it under Persona Beats and just send it off to the rappers or artists or whatever and not worry about it. And then like, oh, we want a Skrillex type track. Like I've been working with some pretty big people and done some really big remixes and stuff, but I can't release them because So like I've got like,
Do you have a date that you can?
So I've done a couple, but I'm hoping that everything line up right so that, because everybody just fucking in the music industry, when you get into the bigger dogs, if one person fucks up, then the whole deal's off, right? So in this chain, if someone does something wrong or something doesn't happen or something doesn't like it, everybody's a prima donna.
Everything's fucked.
Everybody's a prima donna. So if they don't like one thing or they don't like, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. Right.
Okay.
And then it just shits on the whole project because you're trying to get this project out, but then they might not like the album art, or they might not like the mix down, or they might not like one little part or their voice at this point. And then you're like, well, we can go in and record this whole thing again, but it's going to take some time. And you're like, okay. Or when are you going to get this chick in here or this guy in here again to do this? Like that's not, and especially in the studios that we're in, like there's one in New York. We were in the Vegas Palms, like in the studio that like Britney Spears and Michael Jackson and all this stuff. Like, when are we going to be here again? Go out there and get the shit done and then push it out, And a lot of people don't have that commodity of like, oh, I have this, my house studio, like, and it's bomb as fuck. Right. So I don't know. I've worked with some really cool people, but I've also been fucked by a lot of people, and it's cool. But at the same time, it's like, it gets old at a point where it's like, okay, what are we doing? So now it's got to be that money a little bit, so that that it gives it a little bit of a gate to get in, right?
Right. Makes sense.
Everybody's like, oh, you can make a remix of this, I'll make another remix of that, and that's why I don't do remixes anymore, because I'm not doing a remix unless I get the rights to it. If like the person that made the song, or if I can reach out to the person that made the song, and they say, yo, I'm cool with it, I love it, cool. But I'm not going to put 20 hours of work into a track that's not mine, and then they pull it down.
Yeah, it's really not worth it.
Fuck that noise. And then, nowadays it's like you can do a remix on anything and get money for it or whatever. But like when I was coming up, I did a few remixes here and there, and I really was good at it. But I would get my shit pulled down from SoundCloud back in the day when it was like, going hard, and I would get my shit pulled down, and I'd be like,
damn,
what am I doing all this for? Like, fuck this. I want the rights. I want the people that are, if I'm going to put down this much work and this much effort, I want to do, that's why I just did originals. I was like, fuck it. I'm just making originals. Originals the whole time. Fuck it. Fuck them. I'll make something original, and it'll, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's still mine, right?
So talking about these originals though, I'm assuming we can go to any music platform to check it out. And we can check out any name, which would be here.
Captain Kirk, KAPN, well,
Jelly Giant,
and KIRK, then Jolly Giant. It just depends on what kind of stuff you're like. So, like, if you like house, Captain Kirk's really good. I've been making music for a while off that. And then Jolly Giant's, a newer one, but it's all bass heavy trap, like really bass centric stuff. And I even have I dabbled in it. I got to get back into it, but I call it, I only did one track on it, but it blew up. It was Zoot Suit, and it was called Electro Swing. So you went to go, like, the swing music, like,
yeah, I know it.
I'd make it over a house track. And you put a house track to that, and then I like put a little bit of more electro into it, and it turns into something really special. But I got into my phase, and I was like, I'm going to make this. Wow. And I made a song, and I got onto all these big YouTube electro swing channels, and it worked out, but I only did one song, and I wanted to go back to it, but I'm like, okay, I'm trying to work on these other two aliases, and that's the kind of problem, is that when you're having two different things, then you're having to push out.
Annoying as hell, I can imagine.
A lot of work, man, a lot of work.
You choose that life though, right? I mean, always. I'm assuming you're going to be staying in it for a little bit longer, or do you have like?
I will always make music.
Yeah,
I will always make music.
Because a lot of people say, oh, if it doesn't happen within 5 years, I'm going to start doing this.
Fuck them. If you don't like music, you don't like making music, and it's not for you, get the fuck out.
Well,
who cares?
Well, not only that, but if they're not if it doesn't bring in a profit, at a certain time, that
when you're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? Because, I mean, the biggest thing, okay, so here's something deep. We're going deep cuts.
I like this.
My biggest reason why I make music is because when I'm gone, I want something that people can turn on. You know what I'm saying?
So something that resembles you.
Well, totally, and also it's like you live forever, dude. So, like, it's just like a piece of artwork, but, like,
audio file.
It is. And it's like a piece of history in that instance that it will always live on forever, where you're putting your stamp on a timeline that you're like, hey, this is what was going on at that time. Mm-hmm. This is me. This is what was going on. Like, this is my person at that time. And, and when we're all gone, a lot of people are like, well, what do I have to show for it? That's why I do music, where it's like music and video and all this shit that I'm into. But, like, that's why I do is I want to be a creative so that I can create as much as I can while I'm here, so that when I'm gone, people at least can go back and enjoy it.
When someone would ask, like, hey, what was Kirk like? Or what did he like to do?
Look, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. You have a plethora of things that you can look around. You can check out the events that you've coordinated, the music that he's created.
Music videos, all the
music
shit,
video. God damn, dude.
Yeah, I was out in fucking.
So what have you not done? Porno?
Or
what's your porno name? I'll bleep it out if you want me to.
No, there's only a few things I kind of want to do. I really want. Like I said, when I was in high school, I really wanted to get into video. But then I'm like,
right.
But then I started going into music because it was cheaper to do because of video cameras and all this other shit. So I was like, all right. Did music. Now I'm like bringing it back to video because COVID happened. So I did a lot of music videos and productions and stuff for the Famous on the Weekend. Like we had athletes that I would go out and film, and we were sponsoring people. Like there's a dude, 110 Ken. What's up, Kenny boy?
Hell
He
yeah.
base jumps off of fucking Diablo Canyon. Like he's one of the main base jumpers in New Mexico. And
Okay.
just crazy as fuck. And he always send me video. And then we have Dominic Migueli, Dom. What up, Dom? And we'd go out and film. He's a dope ass mountain biker, and we're getting into racing. We're getting into, I'm trying to be like Monster and Red Bull and stuff, but without that, but with music, and like bringing so that way when we go to these sponsors, we're like, okay, we got the music for the video, we have the athletes, we are literally doing whatever the fuck we want now. So like we can sell a whole commercial or package to these people so that they can get their sponsorship. Yeah, that's where the Famous on the Weekend comes in, where it's like, yo, we're finding these athletes or whatever, and we're like, hey, we just made this guy look dope as fuck. Sponsor him, get us some stuff. Do you want to roll with us? We're doing some crazy shit, right? And that way, it's more lucrative for the sponsors to come in and be like, yo, just throw a little logo on the shit or at the end of the video or whatever, and that way we can get some more money so that we can start doing crazier and crazier shit.
Fair, yeah.
So that's just one avenue, right?
That's how it is. Scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Exactly. But you gotta have something to scratch, right?
Well, I don't know if that counts, but I scratched your can, Liquid Death.
That a boy.
One day you guys are gonna contact me. One day.
Liquid Death, we can get him up. That's what I'm saying. We'll put it on here. We'll be good. We'll get Liquid Death. It'll be good.
I'm really hoping so. I barely just started buying them like recently.
Does it taste good? I've never had it.
I brought one for you if you want
try
it.
this shit?
You try it, bro. They have 5 different flavors.
Here we go, Liquid Death. I'm cracking your shit. Oh,
Liquid Death.
I do like the commercials though. They're pretty dope.
I've not seen. Well, I don't watch
this
TV.
Dude with
but
like a big fucking can for a head,
oh my
and then he's like
God.
just beats the shit out of everybody. It's pretty dope.
You're about to like that. It's clean water, man.
Tastes like water from the Alps.
And it's not in plastic. Which, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but water can stay within a plastic bottle for up to 2 years before it gets to you. You know how many times it gets frozen and heated within that time? Many times. So all the chemical compounds that are coming out of that plastic are in your water now in your body. So
Heard it from the man. So stop drinking that plastic. Actually, we have so much plastic in us. Like it's fucked.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked. All the people behind us, like all of our family have like asbestos and lead and shit. Now we have plastic. So we're just like down the road. What next are we gonna get filled with? It's a bunch of shit, man.
That makes me think of how much estrogen men have compared to now and our grandfathers. Dramatic difference by 60%, I believe it was. Imagine that.
60%, like
60.
more?
It's less.
Less.
We have
estrogen?
less estrogen now, or not estrogen. What is it?
Or testosterone.
Thank you.
I was
testosterone.
gonna say if we had less testosterone, then
we'd be feminine hell.
Motherfuckers. Yeah, we are not manly anymore. That's for sure. But that's cool. Like I said, we got now. The cool thing about nowadays is that everybody gets to have a voice. Mind you, that's not the best thing, but at least everybody can be seen in their way. And now with TikTok, I fucking hate TikTok, but people were showing me like the tight niche groups that they can find for themselves there, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, they have it on Facebook and shit too, but like there they have like they can find their people. And it's kind of cool nowadays that you can find your people no matter where you are. Instead of like in like a small ass town like Santa Fe or wherever. We're in New Mexico, right?
Just a desert. Giant fucking desert.
We're in the fucking desert, and there ain't nobody around, so you're not talking to anybody. You're not going out and meeting these people. But on TikTok and all these other things, you get to meet people that are actually going through the same shit you're doing or doing the same shit you're doing.
Right.
And you get to become a community and go have parties and shit or whatever, right? And, if you guys have parties, invite us. We'll do your party for you.
I'll sing at your party.
Let's go.
That's all I can really do.
Happy birthday
to you. Oh God!
I have that Marilyn Monroe fucking outfit.
Have you seen Breaking Bad? Oh my! When the wife sings "Happy Birthday" to the boss, God damn it!
Motherfuckers.
To you.
Motherfuckers, dude.
Oh God, so cute.
And it made Albuquerque look made New Mexico look way worse. It was like, oh yeah, New Mexico is like where they make all the fucking meth, right? Like, oh shit. I mean, mind you, we are the fucking like Grand Theft Auto fucking capital of the world or whatever.
True.
In the US. So it's like Meth is the second or whatever.
Fentanyl. Did you hear about the fentanyl break?
What happened?
In Albuquerque, they busted someone for please correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I believe it was 200 kilos of fentanyl.
I think I heard about this. It was in a truck, and they were going up. They had it like all in a fucking truck.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine though? Fuck fentanyl, dude. I've lost a few fucking few friends off of that shit. Fuck fentanyl. R.I.P. Mikey. But
the fuck is fentanyl, anyways?
Dude, it was used to fucking do cheaper drugs. So like instead of, it was meant to be like done in like little doses for doctors to put you under, and it was supposed to be for surgeries and stuff. And then they got a hold of it and they pushed it into the streets and shit, and then people don't know how to dose it right, so then they're just overdosing like that because it only takes a little bit.
Yeah, it like literally takes.
And then they're pushing
the
into
of your nail.
pills and shit, dude. Like they're pushing into pills, so then they're giving. So like when people are getting pills off the street, they don't know what the fuck it's cut with, and that used to be just like with speed or whatever. Now it's with fentanyl, and if they don't do it right, and they don't give a fuck, they do not give a fuck if they kill people, and so, and then like one of my buddies was telling me that, you know, if they do kill someone, all of the addicts, like you'd think that no one would fuck with that person, right? But no, all the addicts actually go to that person like, yo, I want that shit because I think I can handle it. That dude couldn't handle his shit. You have the good shit.
God.
It's like,
that
what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, man?
It's
like,
a sickening mentality, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But at the same time, you know, people are going to always find something new. And, you know, it was bath salts for a while, right?
I remember bath salts.
Yeah, bath salts. People are eating people and shit or whatever.
Or the guy's face was melting, or he was like peeling it off.
Yeah, whatever.
God damn.
It's just crazy shit, man. Like people can find whatever they want to get. I mean, people were snorting fucking markers and shit, right? Or huffing paint. I mean, gasoline or shit.
Still do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It ain't going away.
A lot of y'all.
Fucking huffing shit. Stop huffing shit.
Cut it out, guys.
Go into a porta potty and huff that shit. But yeah, but like I said, I'm hoping that it gets a little better and people start getting a little bit smarter, and they are now that people are really seeing. But yeah, Albuquerque and New Mexico has been bad about that type of stuff. I mean, and you know, in the rave culture and stuff too, it's all about drugs, right? And you know, it's
ecstasy.
Yeah, ecstasy and Molly and ketamine and all these things.
What's the difference between Molly and ecstasy? It's just
it's
stronger.
what you cut it. No, it's what you cut it with. So ecstasy is usually some MDMA, and then they cut it with some speed or some shit, right? It doesn't matter. It's like a pressed whatever, right? And they can sell it like pills. And Molly is like just the MDMA side. And what happens is, you know, the ecstasy stuff is cut with speed and all that stuff, and you know, people take it and they go like really hard and they're like fucking chewing their fucking socks off, and you'd see them and you'd be like, yo, chill, like, you okay? And they're just like, yeah, I'm fucking great. You're like, okay, man, just drink some water.
I mean, they're having a great time. Just the exterior is a little questionable.
It's okay. Like I said, everybody's going to do what they want to do. But, you know, and that's the kind of nice thing about, you know, raves. That's why a lot of people like it, is that they can go do all that stuff and not get judged because everyone else is going to be doing it.
What do you personally like to do when you go to a rave?
So I like drinking. Drinking. I can't do much more than that, but
okay.
But I also, you know, you know, a lot of people use the drugs as a, you know, this is the time I'm going to do it or whatever. No, and they don't like the music. They do it, you know. So like when I went to shows, I did it because I produce. I want to see the music. I want to hear it. I want to remember shit. You know, I like to have a drink and enjoy it and actually, you know, be there and stuff. A lot of people are like, I don't like this music unless I'm on drugs. And it's like, why are you even here?
Yeah, it's kind of sad that you're just there.
It sucks.
And you need the pick-me-up.
Yeah, and it sucks.
You shouldn't need it.
It sucks. I mean, you know, people are going to do what they do, but it just sucks when it turns into that's the only thing. And it's like,
God damn
it. And that, I mean, those are some people that are just like, yo, I'm going to go hard for the night, and then they're going to go to a hip-hop show or like a metal show or whatever later on. Like, they're just going to the rave one time and they popped a pill of ecstasy or whatever, where there's like, oh, I'm fucking, you know, this is my one night to go hard, and then, you know, they freak out or whatever at the show, and like we've had to kick people out of, you know, sometimes because they're just freaking out, and you're like, bro, what the fuck are you gone?
Seen
and
it,
they're
man.
like, bro, it's my first time, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
you shouldn't have taken so much for your first time then.
Exactly. But
10 caps? What?
shrooms and all that stuff. God damn.
I know. I'm assuming you don't fuck with that, so we'll stay away. Only alcohol for this gentleman.
Only alcohol.
Cannabis?
Nope, can't smoke.
No,
Can't
no.
smoke.
Oh, that's right, because
Yeah,
Los
because of
Alamos.
labs. Yeah.
Totally understand.
Yeah, but I
Respect
do, love what's going on right now with all New Mexico, and like, some of my buddies are doing a lot of cool stuff with cannabis, and I really support them, and I think it's awesome, man. Like, when I was back then, it was impossible. Everybody would be, getting the dirt shit in Mexico, and then like it was brick weed. And then now you can go to a fucking shop on the corner and go grab yourself some good shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you bitches, like that's so dope that
not until the government gets their share will it be legal.
At least, hey, fuck it, dude, like give them their share. If they're allowing people, at least they're not fucking locking people up anymore about it,
Thank God. I mean, the people that did get locked up, they're still locked up though. So
yep.
Let's work on that, guys. Anyways, thank you for tuning into the podcast today, guys, with Kirk Webber, a.k.a. Captain
Kirk and all the things,
a.k.a.
the blah, blah, blah.
The Jelly Giant, a.k.a. Chasing Happiness,
a.k.a. killing the goddamn game. Taylor Thompson,
yes.
You're the goddamn man, bro.
I'm glad you came in, dude. So really quick, just so that everybody out there will know, Famous on the Weekend, we can check you out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
The biggest thing is Facebook. Get us on Facebook because that's where we put all of our events in.
Right,
that's where I'm
I've
doing
seen
all my
a lot.
advertising. And Instagram and stuff, of course. But, Facebook, we really try to get our events going there so that people can kind of come in and see stuff going on. But, yeah, that's our main thing. Our website, go over to our website. We're trying to get it back up and running more and more as these events coming through. But what's
the name of the website?
So famousontheweekend.com.
Duh.
And then this Friday, we have St. Patty's party over at Leaf and Hive. If you're in Santa Fe, come party with us. It's going to be a great time. We got some really great DJs coming in. I'm bringing in one of my buddies, Decent Carrot, from, from Arizona. He's been out in Arizona.
Sick.
He's a dope-ass DJ. He was in Albuquerque, but now he's coming out. So, yeah, we got some really good people. We got some fire poyers. We're going to have some really cool shit. So, come out, enjoy us. Come and just fucking get down with us. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be gnarly.
That's all it is.
By the way, guys, I know you guys have. My goodness, that Bacardi hit me. I know he looks small on camera, but when you see him, just expect a fucking jelly giant. Okay.
Damn right.
Just saying, if he stood up, you're not gonna see his face. You're gonna see his head, not that. Whatever. If you guys are watching, you guys get it. Anyways. If we wanted to follow you on social media, you personally, to get your music and what you are doing, where do we go, man?
Dude, famousontheweekend.com, man. I have all of our stuff up there, all of our music videos, all that stuff. I'm trying to make it into one little spot where everybody can kind of find everything that we're kind of doing. So that's kind of the best thing that you can do, and just, support the cause and support the channels and, and all the artists that we're bringing up and all the athletes and shit. So
Gnarly.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for tuning in on today's podcast with Kirk Webber.
Hey.
I will see you guys next Monday with The Collective. They were on the Whose Tangent Is It Anyway podcast, where we just talked to shit. They're going to be in here for a personal interview, which is going to be pretty awesome. It's like 5 of them.
Hey,
so
how you
definitely
gonna fit them in here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can also put 6, and I can also put someone right here.
You are killing it, my friend.
Ugh. You should come to a Whose Tangent Is It Anyways. By the way, if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely go on to YouTube, Instagram, and or Facebook. Whose Tangent Is It Anyway with the question mark,
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in on T-Toxin, Talks Local. And yeah, I'm going to stop recording because I don't know what to say anymore, and it's getting awkward. Okay.
It's not getting awkward. We're chilling. We can just look at them.
Bye, guys.
Laters.